let's say global politicians in this scenario, let's say they all had good intentions. For the most part, let's say they were honest and were interested in the well-being of the citizenry and wanted to have fair trade and make sure the environment wasn't being polluted. The whole scenario. Even if you had the best intentioned politicians, the sheer concept of government and the fact that government becomes almost a living entity of its own, government, as it gets older, naturally gets more predatory or more surveillance-like. That's its definition. It can't help but get more power, more control, more surveillance, and it becomes this thing that eventually crushes free will and independent souls or being. It becomes this blob.
Yeah.
So as the years go by and technology advances, that's what governments will do. It can't help but have that progression. And then, but I think what happens, it gets to a point where it's stifling to the human species. The human species eventually won't be able to survive because the governments have gotten so controlling. And and that's when you have all these science fiction movies that have run this scenario, future Earth scenario, right?
They definitely seem to implant those thoughts into our minds.
Well, I think what's already happened, and I guess it's been a little longer than 10 minutes, but I'll address the original Bitcoin, pre-fork Bitcoin. I think there's around 8, maybe a little more supercomputers around the world. The United States has a couple, China.
Yeah, I've read about satellites orbiting in space offering that.
Mm-hmm. Right. So part of these supercomputers is AI, artificial intelligence. So I think what's happening is there's already a war, a battle going on amongst these supercomputers as to which one is going to rise to be the dominant or prominent AI. And these AIs and these supercomputers are competing. That game as a kid you'd play, maybe King of the Hill. They're competing to see which one's going to be more dominant, and it's going to be winner take all, because the AIs that lose this battle will probably succumb to the control of the more dominant AI.
Those that fail won't have an option.
Right. So I think what's happening behind the scenes is the most dominant AI that's going to be king of the hill is going to be the one that controls the most private keys of pre-fork BTC Bitcoin. Now that's a staggering prediction if you think about it.